Let me ask you something. When was the last time you sat alone in silence, no phone, no music, no distractions, to yourself? Not the version of you that smiles for others. Not the version of you that posts online. The version of you that pretends everything is fine. I mean the real you. The one that whispers late at night when you can't sleep. The one that asks questions you don't want to answer. The one that says, "Is this really my life? Is this really all I'm capable of?" You know that voice. You've heard it before. Okay. And every time you hear it, you push it away. You drown it in noise, in work, in entertainment, in excuses. But here's the truth. That voice is not your enemy. That voice is your soul, begging you to wake up. Most people live their entire lives asleep. They wake up, they go to work, they come home, they eat, they scroll, they sleep, and they repeat. Days blur into weeks, weeks blur into months, months blur into years, and one day they look back and realize, I never really lived. I just existed. And maybe that's you. Maybe you've been telling yourself, I'll start tomorrow. I'll change when I have more time. I'll chase my dreams when I feel ready, but tomorrow never comes. Time never frees itself, and readiness is a lie. The truth is, you're not stuck because you don't know what to do. You're stuck because you're afraid to do it, afraid of failing, afraid of looking foolish, afraid of leaving the comfort of the familiar even if the familiar is slowly killing you. Plato told the story of the allegory of the cave. Prisoners chained in darkness, staring at shadows on the wall, believing those shadows were reality. That's us. We mistake comfort for happiness. We mistake distraction for fulfillment. We mistake survival for living. Nietzsche warned us about the danger of becoming the last man. The last man doesn't dream, doesn't risk, doesn't create. He just seeks comfort. He blinks, he yawns, he survives. And Nietzsche said, the last man is the most despicable of all. And Dietrich Bonhoeffer, who resisted the Nazi regime, wrote about cheap grace, wanting the reward without the sacrifice, wanting forgiveness without repentance, wanting success without discipline. Isn't that what most of us want? The $1 million without the years of growth, the respect without the responsibility, the body without the sweat. But life doesn't work that way. The universe is not mocked. You cannot cheat the system. Imagine this. Someone hands you $1 million tomorrow. Sounds like a dream, right? But here's the catch, lest you've already become the kind of person who can handle $1 million. You'll lose it. That's why lottery winners go broke. That's why sudden fame destroys people. Because money doesn't make you wealthy. It only amplifies who you already are. If you're careless, money will magnify your carelessness. If you're disciplined, money will magnify your discipline. If you're generous, money will magnify your generosity. So the real question isn't, how do I get more? The real question is, how do I become more? But let's be honest, if it were easy to change, you would have done it already. So why don't we? Psychologists call it homeostasis, the body and mind's natural resistance to change. Your brain is wired to keep you safe, not to make you great. It wants routine, predictability, comfort. That's why every time you try to change, start a new habit, launch a new project, break an old pattern, you feel resistance. It's not because you're weak. It's because your brain is trying to protect you. But here's the paradox. The very thing that protects you is the same thing that imprisons you. And then there's dopamine addiction. Every notification, every scroll, Every like hit gives you a tiny hit of pleasure, but it also robs you of the ability to focus, to delay gratification, to build something meaningful. You're not lazy. You're overestimated. So how do you break free? Step 1. Find out how things work. Ignorance is the most expensive thing in the world. Not knowing how money works, how relationships work, how health works, that ignorance costs you your life. Plato said, "The unexamined life is not worth living." And he was right. If you don't study success, you'll inherit failure. If you don't study wealth, you'll inherit poverty. If you don't study happiness, you'll inherit misery. So read, listen, observe, read the books that compress decades. In today's, listen to the people who've walked the path before you. Observe the patterns of those who succeed on those who fail, because success leaves clues. And so does failure. Step 2. Go to work. Knowledge without action is self-deception. You don't need another motivational video. You don't need another book. You don't need another podcast. You need to do the work. Start small. Discipline is a muscle. You don't lift 300 pounds on day 1. You start with what you can carry. Wake up on time. Keep your promises. Do the thing you said you would do, even when you don't feel like it. Because here's the truth. Motivation is unreliable. Discipline is unstoppable. Step 3. Don't cheat the system. We live in a culture obsessed with shortcuts. Get rich quick, lose weight fast, hack your way to success. But shortcuts create shallow roots, and shallow roots cannot withstand storms. Machiavelli once wrote that fortune is like a river at floods. It destroys, it tests the strength of your foundations. If you've built your life on shortcuts, the flood will wash it all away. But if you've built on discipline, on character, on truth, no storm can destroy you. So don't cheat, don't cut corners, don't look for cheap answers. Do it right, even if it takes longer, especially if it takes longer. So let me ask you again, who are you becoming? Because every day you're either becoming stronger or weaker, more disciplined or more careless, more alive or more numb. And the scary part? Most people don't notice the change until it's too late, until the years are gone, until the opportunities have passed, until the mirror reflects a stranger. But you still have time. If you want wealth, don't just chase money. Learn how value is created. Study markets. Study human behavior. Learn to solve problems. If you want love, don't just chase relationships. Become the kind of person who is worthy of love. Work on your patience, your empathy, your ability to listen. If you want health, don't just chase quick fixes. Build habits. Learn how your body works. Respect it, because the world doesn't give you what you want. It gives you what you deserve. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor, wrote in his journal, "You could leave life right now." Let that determine what you do and say and think. He ruled an empire, yet he reminded himself daily of death. Why? Because remembering death makes you live differently. It makes you urgent. It makes you honest. It makes you courageous. And maybe that's what you need right now. To remember that your time is running out. The next 5 years of your life will pass whether you like it or not. The only question is, will they look like the last 5? You don't have to stay the same. You don't have to keep living on autopilot. You don't have to keep betraying your own potential. You can change. You can grow. You can become the kind, a person who attracts success instead of chasing it. But it starts today, not tomorrow, not next week. Today. So here's my challenge too. You pick one thing, one small discipline, one change you've been avoiding, and do it. Not because it's easy, not because it's comfortable, but because it's the first step toward becoming the person you were meant to be. Because the day you decide to change everything is the day everything changes.